Everyone, welcome to our virtual Zoom, our big North America Zoom. Great to have everyone here. For those I haven't met yet, Darren Johnson, I'm the Senior VP of Sales here at Melaleuca, coming up on my 9th year with Melaleuca, and I'm the new guy, believe it or not. I'm going to be introducing Kevin. Kevin, I think, is over 20 years now with Melaleuca and still going strong. So we are glad that you decided to be here with us. Congratulations. It is our honor to be with you. For the next couple of hours, we have a jam-packed agenda, and it's our hope that this is a breakthrough time for you. We're 3 weeks into this brand new year, 2021. So it's great to have you here with us. And without a doubt, you are exactly where you're supposed to be this morning. We know you made commitments and changes to be here. Good for you. It's the right decision. This Melaleuca family continues to grow. And for those that are relatively new to Melaleuca, we really do get together live events, while in-person events. We just haven't done it lately. So we're doing our best here with virtual to connect all of us together. So we're so glad you're with us, and we got a big morning here planned for you. So 2020, one last, I promise, one last look in the rearview mirror at that incredible year. It was a year of growth for Melaleuca. It was one of our best growth years ever, due in part because of all of you sharing Melaleuca with others, and the world needs us now more than ever, not only with our products, but also with the business opportunity. And what was fun to watch was the growth also that we all had, whether it's how we all learn to adapt and do things differently. So many challenges in front of us, but you overcame it, and you are still overcoming. The fact that it's a brand new year doesn't change things. Depending upon where you're at in the United States or in Canada, we're still dealing, of course, with COVID and everything that's happening with that. And so this new year, I'll tell you, it's going very, very strong here for Melaleuca, continuing to do so, in part for the same reasons, products and the business opportunity, and because of all of you. 3 weeks ago, we were at January launch, and think about what we unveiled. Brand new product like Koala Cups, also methylated B, performance-backed vitamins. Along with that, we announced Fast Track. We also then announced new business building tools, the new getting started area, the new foundation video, the new refer a friend. By the way, some exclusive information for you, refer a friend, and the number of customers that are using that for the first time, it's in the thousands. The adoption rate on that is very, very strong, and getting some very positive feedback from all of you, including the foundation video as well. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out in the new getting started area, I invite you to do so. Because you're going to hear a special message from Melaleuca CEO Frank Vandersloot, Senior VP of Business Development. You're going to meet in just a second. Kevin Sommer is also there. And so those new business building tools and that product line, all those things together combined with you and your reason for building and this entire team, this entire family, it's really setting up for you to reach your goals in ways you perhaps haven't been able to do before. And so we're really excited to be on that journey with all of you. So now, we've got a jam-packed agenda here for you. So we have, first off, you're going to meet Melaleuca's travel concierge, Amy Morey, and I'm going to hand off to Kevin in just a second. We also are joined by Corporate Director 3 and our current Marketing Executive of the Year, Kim McCauley, will be here. You met her at launch, where we celebrated her Corporate Director 3 advancement, but now we're going to go deeper here with Kim and learn a little bit more about her background and some incredible tips and hints about how to build your Melaleuca business. And you have a unique opportunity with Executive Director 9, Stacy Bodner. She is here, and we get the chance to be part of a power hour. Now, everyone, this is a brand new year, and so what you think about the next couple hours is your chance to really exercise and practice your mindset and some different tools and things that you can put into practice, like Power Hour. If you've never been part of Power Hour before, this is a unique chance for you. And so grab your contact list, because near the end of our program, we're going to be doing a Power Hour. You have a chance to fill your calendars with appointments, and imagine how good that's going to feel when you do that. And so we have thousands of you on right now. And I know that for a lot of you, this is your first chance to be part of a big North America Power Hour. And so I'm inviting you to make sure you get your contact list and join us for that. because when you do, again, you're going to have a full calendar at the end of that. Okay, now, today's a really, really special day, everyone. This is the first check-in of 2021, and how are you doing toward your goals? So my question to you is, how you doing? How's your mindset? And whatever negative chatter you might have right now, get it out and replace it with more positive, the positive chatter moving forward. Now, some of you are right where you want to be. You're assessing where you've been the last 23 days. You're saying, this feels really, really good. If that describes you, I'm congratulating you and saying, let's go. Let's keep moving forward on that. Others of you may be looking back at the last 23 days and saying, you know, I could have done better. Whatever goals you have, I'm one of them. I could have done better in certain areas. And if that describes you, I'm congratulating you as well. And assess that, learn from it, and move forward. We cannot change anything at all about what happened in the past, but we can change what we decide to do moving forward. And that's what I think this entire program here today is allowing you to do. Fast Track is underway. And I know so many of you have your Fast Track teams and you're practicing daily accountability and daily reporting. But maybe you are looking and saying, you know what? I have maybe 1 point, or maybe I have 0 points. I don't have as many points as I thought I would have. Treat this as an opportunity to reset. Let it go. Maybe as a team, you're texting each other right now and saying, guys, we can do better on daily accountability and on consistency or celebrating one another. If that describes you, that's awesome. You see, every day, and especially this event, it's a chance then to, again, reset and start again. Because with Fast Track, it's a 90-day program, 90 days with Fast Track, and we're only 23 days in. Now, over the next couple hours, you're going to be learning insights and things you can put into practice. My challenge to you is write down the one thing through the course of the morning here. What is the one thing that you're going to be implementing in your business? What will it be for you? And because it all comes down to the habits and the consistency with which we approach our business and the mindset with which we come at sharing Melaleuca and sharing wellness with others. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all of us. We've got thousands here on this Saturday morning. We're here in Idaho Falls, Idaho, on a snowy morning, and we're glad you chose to be with us. So now I'm going to be handing off to our Senior VP of Business Development, Kevin Sommer. Kevin, you've got the ball.
Thank you, Darren. It's great to be here with everybody, and Darren, I appreciate you kind of recapping a little bit of 2020. And what's interesting with Fast Track, and we're 22, we've completed 22 days into the new year, and we are moving at more than double the pace we were last year at this time. That's been the result of what you're doing. The world's more interested in wellness than ever before. And of course, Fast Track, and we call it Fast Track to a Better Life, because you don't have to participate in Fast Track to change your life, but it certainly is a fast track to do it, to make it happen even faster. And those principles of meeting together as a team every day and reporting those numbers, they're push us outside of our comfort zones a little bit. But that's when growth happens, and that's when great things happen. And it's great to see so many teams out there encouraging each other, uplifting one another, and meeting together and holding their feet to the fire and making it happen. So look, we've said from the beginning, this isn't about the prize. The Fast Track isn't about the prize. It's about what it will do to help you build life-changing residual income. But if you're going to do it, why not get the prize? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Why not get the travel voucher? And some of you have asked a little bit about the travel concierge. Who is it? How is it going to work? What does it really mean? And what can they help us with? So as we've announced, the voucher is has a value of about $1,000. The platinum voucher is double that. And also includes the travel concierge, which the value of the travel concierge is really, it depends on you. So I'm going to show you a little bit we're going to talk a little bit about that. I want to introduce you to Amy here in just a moment. And let me tell you a little bit about Amy. Amy, 25 years ago, and you're going to see her and you're going to say, no way, it was 25 years ago. But back then we let people start when they were, I think she was like 4 years old. So Amy started 25 years ago. She had just finished the Morse Murdoch School of Travel, and she started Melaleuca, and we quickly saw her talents, and she began working in Melaleuca's travel department, and she's been heading up those efforts for 25 years now. She's booked tens of thousands of flights, of hotel rooms, excursions, activities. She has been an absolute miracle worker. If you've ever wondered, who's the person who books travel for Kevin and for Darren, and what about for Frank, who books his travel? That's Amy Mori. And Amy's one of our travel concierges. We have a couple of them, but we want to make sure that you're going to have as much access as you want. For those who qualify for the Platinum voucher, will have as much access as they want to Amy and Carrie and to our travel department. So without any further ado, Amy, welcome and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Kevin. Hey guys, I am so excited to be here. It's true, I love travel. I have loved travel for the last 25 years and have not stopped loving it a day since. I've been all over the world. I've had some amazing experiences. I have a treasure chest filled with priceless memories. And I'm excited. Getaway Your Way, that is incredible. Kevin actually came to me a few months ago with this idea to see what I thought. And I said, brilliant, Kevin, they will love it. And looking at the fast track numbers this year, looks like you guys are ready to be the captain of your next travel adventure. Yeah,
that's a good way to put it, Amy. I think all of us are ready to get away we all have different things in mind, but I think everybody's ready for some type of getaway. And these getaways can really build those priceless memories. That's the thing I love about travel. I've always loved travel too, but the cool thing about Amy is Amy's been doing this as a full-time job for 25 years. It also happens to be her passion, so that's what she does in her spare time too. So she's not only booked it for everybody, she's done it, and she's done it all. So Amy, I want to paint a little bit of a picture of, some people may think a $2,000 voucher is a lot. Some might think, well, can you really do much for $2,000? So can you help us paint a picture? I know really the opportunities are endless, but can you give us some ideas of maybe, what we could get for that Platinum voucher?
Oh, absolutely. I think $2,000 is an incredible amount. You can do a lot with that. There are deals out there that you wouldn't believe. A lot of it is knowing how to take advantage of a few things. And if you get your Platinum voucher, I'm going to help you. We are going to be a team helping create your next travel experience. $2,000 can get you an amazing trip to the beach. You could have your whole family on the beach, putting your feet in the sand and enjoying the waves. Maybe Pebble Beach Golf Course, and you want to play the links in Pebble Beach. It's doable. Disney is doable. Hitting the Grand Canyon and taking a helicopter tour is totally possible. Yes, this is a getaway your way. You really will be able to accomplish that bucket list dream you've got with this.
So Amy, tell us a little bit about how you're going to help us in a way a normal travel agent couldn't, because I could go to a travel agency, I could go to Expedia or whatever, and I could try to put something together, but you have even more flexibility to kind of guide us through that. So walk us through some of the differences between what a standard travel agent would provide as far as counsel goes versus what you're going to be able to do.
Well, a standard travel agent probably wouldn't love you as I do. I've had a whole career at Melaleuca, and it just is blessed my life so much. And I have a real connection with a lot of our employees and marketing executives. And number one, you need someone who is willing to take a little bit extra time at looking at your idea and your dream. A lot of things just come down to the details. They come down to the small, minute things that will help a trip be smooth. The transition times are easy. These things that we overlook or a travel agency might not have the time to really dive into, they become some of the most important things in our trip. We want to still have a comfortable experience when we go. We want things to be easy. We don't want to get stranded. So I would love to help make this process as smooth as possible, so all you have time to do is enjoy your adventure.
Thanks, Amy. It's really, travel agents, sometimes their hands are tied, or sometimes they have certain agreements with certain companies where they get more of a kickback for recommending this cruise over that cruise. And Amy, as a team member of Melaleuca, doesn't have any of those. One, and number two, travel agents can't always book every hotel room, and they can't, like Airbnb, for example, or VRBO, or rental homes, or RVs or motorhomes, those kinds of things. A travel agency is not going to push in that direction, but with Amy, anything's on the table. In fact, Amy, I was telling you about this a couple of years ago. I wanted to take a trip with my family to northern Idaho, and I thought, we should go up there and we should go camping. I've always wanted to go up there. I mean, I think everybody has that national park or that place they've always wanted to visit before, maybe even within their own state. And I wanted to do that, and I thought it's so beautiful up there. I wanted to camp outside this amusement park and have some of that connection time as a family. And I thought about, man, to pack up all that camping gear and drive for 8 hours for a family of 6. And so I thought maybe I'll rent an RV. And then I thought, man, I've got to pull an RV for 8 hours up through the mountains. I don't know that I want to do that. And then, I had suggested that why don't you just rent an RV up there and see if the guy who owns the RV will drop it off and deliver it for you. And as I got thinking, I thought, you know what, if I'm going to do that, maybe I'll just get the biggest darn RV I can find. Giant fifth wheel with 2 bathrooms, with a deck, an inside fireplace, an outside fireplace, full of all the gear. It had all of the bedding, the tables, the hot dog roasting stick, had everything you needed. And this guy came, he delivered it to the campground, he parked it, he set it all up, and we had the most incredible getaway up there. And then at the end of it, he came and packed it up and moved it away for us. And that's the kind of thing that a travel agency could never help with, but Amy can guide you to do that. But what about excursions, Amy? What kind of excursions could you help us with that maybe a travel agency wouldn't?
Hey, well, and that's, you made a good point, Kevin. Travel agencies do have to make commissions, and they usually will only offer products where they can get the money back into their office. And we're different. We don't have to worry about that. We will definitely recommend any and all resources that are travel related to accomplish your trip. As far as excursions go, there are some fantastic opportunities out there. You can, like I said, you can get in a helicopter and go over the Grand Canyon. You can rent ATVs. You can rappel down waterfalls. You can hike.
No está hablando ella de sueños nada más.
Endless the excursions you can do, and I would really highlight the excursions make the trip. Those memories are priceless. When you can get a good tour guide, when you know you're in great hands and you're going to your next adventure, it's a memory that will be with you forever.
Yeah, it's so. Those memories for me are really important. In fact, one of my favorite things about the getaways are, I mentioned before, I have 4 kids, 3 of them are teenagers. But that trip I mentioned in Idaho, I didn't once, not a single time, I didn't have to tell my kids to put their phones away. When you get away, it's kind of like if you've ever done a corn maze or one of those, human mazes where you walk through and you turn, and everywhere you look, there's a wall and you get lost, and it can take a couple hours to go through. But if you were to stand up on a ladder and look down at that maze, it would take you minutes to figure it out. And sometimes in life, we get running and bumping into walls and we just get into the routine. It's not bad. I have a great life. I don't need to escape my life by any means, but sometimes stepping away, especially as a family, when you don't have those distractions, you can see your life from another angle, and it starts to make sense. And that's when connections are made with family, with loved ones. Whether it's your parents or a child or a spouse. I also very much believe in with my spouse, she and I need some time to step away from the maze and take a look at life from a different perspective. And it truly is valuable. So, Amy, I want to give some perspective on, if I had a couple $1,000s to book a trip right now, I would think there's no way I could go overseas. Obviously right now, this wouldn't be a great time, but maybe, these travel vouchers are going to be good for at least 2 years. So when I do feel more comfortable, are you going to be able to help me put something together that might take me to another country if I wanted?
Absolutely, Kevin. Absolutely. And the opportunities are coming even now. We do have some rules and restrictions that are stopping a few things because of COVID, but also if you know what to take care of ahead of time, you can go international. And there are some really affordable flights right now. This summer will be a great time to travel, even into the fall, there's no doubt that the pricing will be flexible and that the cost will be absolutely doable to get to another country. Maybe you've been dying to see Lake Como in Italy. Totally possible. Maybe you have family on another continent that you have missed and you've been dying to see. Totally possible with this voucher. The money is absolutely enough to take you to where you want to go, and especially if you have the right help guiding you. That's a huge part. You can get lost in a lot of the sales and the discounts, but you don't often see the strings that are attached. And with our service, we will take great care of you. None of those things you'll get caught up in. We'll make sure that the best deal that you get is what works for you.
Yeah, I've been on a few cruises before, and what's funny about a cruise is, and this is true with the same thing with any flight you've been on, everybody paid a different price on that same cruise and on that same flight. And depending on when you booked it, how you booked it, where you went to book it, what the day of the week that you travel, all those things play into it. And if you've ever wondered, how do you get the best deal when you travel, and get the same exact experience as the guy next to you, but you've done it for less? And that's one of the things that Amy's going to help us figure out. So Amy, I think people are dying to know. You've been everywhere. You've done it all. You have booked everything. Tell us some of your favorite trips.
Okay. Well, I absolutely love Costa Rica, and most people that know me know that Costa Rica is my go-to place. I've been there times all over the country. I love it because it has life. It is so filled with adventure. You've got volcanoes and mountains, waterfalls, rivers, ocean, crocodiles, monkeys, sloths, turtles, and all sorts of animals that are everywhere, birds. It just is filled with so much life. So it is a great getaway. But I've also been to several places in Europe. And for me, I love experiences. I love getting to know the culture. So if you've ever dreamed of going to Scotland, I would tell you that you cannot miss a Highland game, a local Highland competition where you get to see this huge man in a kilt throwing a telephone pole up into a field. You get to see bagpipe players and little kids doing Celtic dance. It's unbelievable. One of my favorite adventures was going to the Galapagos Islands. I loved seeing the life again on the islands, but part of that trip included a humanitarian portion in Ecuador. And I got to spend time in an orphanage, and it was absolutely priceless to be a part of something else. And I'm sure that there are many of you that have mission trips on your mind. That's something that we could look at too. It's totally doable. Those things create lifetime memories. So for me, those are a few of my favorites, but I've definitely been a lot more places and experienced the world. And every time I go somewhere, I fall more in love with the world that we have.
Thank you, Amy. So Amy's going to be able to help us find, if there's somewhere you want to go, or maybe you don't know where you want to go, she can help you with that too. But the day of the week that you travel, to maximize your travel voucher, from the time of the year that you go to make sure you get the best weather, all of those things she's going to be able to help you out with in a way that nobody else could. And her only motive is to help you. She's been living our mission for 25 years. She's been kind of behind the scenes, behind the curtains, and she's never been made available ever before to all of you. Now, maybe she's booked a flight here or there to help you out, but in this way, she has never been available. And we are so grateful for her for being willing to do this. So Amy, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate you and can't wait to qualify for the opportunity to work side by side with you. One point of clarification that I want to make to everybody is your travel voucher, by the way, if you don't use it all in the first go around, you don't have to use it all at once. You can split it up. You can use it. We've made sure that it is extremely flexible. So your options really will be. I wanted to throw one more thing out there, because for me, I think I've made it pretty clear that I love to travel, and I love to travel with the family. But it's not just about the trip for me either, because one thing that's really fun for us is the anticipation of the trip. So I'll give you an example of something I did not too long ago. I wanted to surprise the family with a little trip, and I created a scavenger hunt in the house, and I gave them a clue and said ingredients for Dad's favorite popcorn. That was the only clue, and they had to try to figure out where that was, and then they found another clue that may have said something like where Harry Potter lives, and under the stairs. Another one was, hey, I started giving clues of where we're going. I said, hey, it's an island, but your next clue is also on an island. And so they had to figure out it was the island in the kitchen. And, we're going somewhere warm, but for now, this is all we've got. And it was the furnace. So they had this thing, and they learned more about the trip as they went. And so they had some fun and anticipation leading up to the trip. And then about 2 weeks before the trip, when they were in finals and things were really tough, about every other day I'd text them a picture, a little bit of a teaser of where we're going and what we're going to do, because I didn't tell them everything. I like to have the surprises along the way. So I spread out this 1 week trip into about 6 weeks of excitement and energy. And those are the kinds of things you can do to really maximize your getaway with your loved ones, and that having something to look forward to, having that target in mind. It's similar to how we build our Melaleuca businesses, having that goal and having that target, working towards it. And the joy is really in the journey as much as it is in the achievement. So Darren, thanks everyone for letting us introduce Amy. Darren, we'll turn it back to you.
All right, thanks Kevin, and thanks Amy. Some of the leaders that Amy has interacted with, as you said, not many, getting text messages saying, that's what Amy looks like. Hey, Kevin, I got a question for you. Great stories, right? So my story of an RV, or my memory, is 1976. My dad rented a Winnebago, and we went across South Dakota to the Black Hills. I don't think he even had air conditioning. It wasn't a pleasant experience. So you're telling me that these new RVs are do they have air conditioning? That's all I need to know.
I'm telling you, Darren, 3 TVs, multiple bathrooms, a master suite with a size bed, a whole separate wing for the kids, a deck, an outdoor fireplace. Yeah, they have it all, and it was way more affordable than a hotel room even. So it's just when you open your mind to what's out there and what's available, and what you're comfortable with, it's amazing what you can do.
All right, I'm gonna take your word for it, and I'm gonna text my dad and give him some grief right now. So, all that, everyone, get away your way with Fast Track. So again, thanks Kevin, thanks Amy. We'll see you in a little bit here, Kevin. But first, everyone, here's our opportunity now to hear from our 2020 Marketing Executive of the Year and our Advancing Corporate Director 3, Kim McCauley. You've seen her and her family on the Leadership in Action magazine, the most current issue. Now, I first met Kim when she attended Road to Executive Director as a senior director in August of 2017. And every time I have a chance to spend time with her and her family, I learn something new, and really have enjoyed getting to know her over the last few years. She advanced to corporate director in October of 2020. She has 30 active personal directors and over 11,800 members in her organization. She has earned $2.5 million so far with her Melaleuca business. Again, $2.5 million so far with her Melaleuca business. She earns expanded circle of influence, right, at just about every month, and that's enrolling at least 8 new members. So if you're trying to piece together how does that happen, you're starting to see that. A lot of hard work for sure. And you met her not only at Convention 2020, when we did the interview where we announced her Marketing Executive of the Year, but you also met her at launch, where, again, for Kim and Art, we celebrated their advancement to Corporate Director 3. So welcome, Kim McCauley. The floor is yours. Again, welcome to this event Saturday morning.
Hi, Darren. Thank you. So I just saw the viewer count when I went to unmute myself, and I'll be breathing into a brown paper bag after this, but it's okay. I did Superman pose before I got on, and my hope is that I just get to speak to someone today and inspire you to keep going. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get into it. I want to start out with a little analogy that I hope resonates with some of you guys. And it's something that I do every Sunday and Monday, right? So how many of you have said, okay, on Monday, I'm going to start a diet, right? I'm gonna get fit. I'm gonna go gluten-free. I do this every Sunday, like without fail. Okay, every Sunday I'm like, tomorrow's the day. I'm gonna do it, right? I'm gonna go Whole30. I'm gonna be paleo. I'm gonna do 75 hard. I'm gonna drink 4 gallons of water a day. Like I'm gonna do all of these things. And Monday rolls around. I didn't really make a plan. I had this kind of big, ridiculous, audacious goal. And it's not that big goals are bad. It's looking for the quick fixes, right? So I've got these big, gigantic goals. I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to be a raw vegan. I'm going to go on a juice cleanse. And then the wheels fall off my day. Okay. My kids are screaming. Something's happening with the team. I didn't prepare. I have no raw vegan green juice, right? And it's 10 a.m. And I'm eating burrito bowls or nachos with extra jalapenos instead of drinking my green juice, right? Does anyone relate to that? Can anyone relate to that in your life or in your Melaleuca business? What then happens with me is I feel awful about myself. I beat myself up. I'm like, why can't I be a raw vegan? Like, I don't understand. Why can't I cut out gluten? Whole30 can't be that hard, right? And so I beat myself up. I doubt myself. I go all week without doing any of the things that I said I was going to do. And then Sunday rolls around and I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to go keto. I just watched a TikTok video and some chick on TikTok lost 50 pounds going keto. So I'm going to go keto. Keto's the answer to all my problems, right? And I do this over and over and over again because our minds are trained to look for a quick fix, at least for me. Okay. So I hope that resonates with some of you. Here's the thing though, there's no secret, there's no special diet, there's no magic pill for fitness or weight loss or your Melaleuca business, okay? With fitness and weight loss, it's a simple formula of calories in versus calories out. It's hard work and it's discipline. So again, does any of this seem familiar? Can you relate this to Fast Track? How about with Fast Track? You're so gung-ho, you're so excited, you're gonna get the travel voucher, you're gonna do all the things, right? You have all these big plans. Monday rolls around, the wheels fall off. Your kids are screaming, you didn't add any names to your contact list, and you're eating nachos at 10 a.m., okay? Instead of doing the critical business building activities. I want to try to speak to you today about that and how we can avoid these pitfalls with practical steps that I implement in my life, in my fitness, and in my business, okay? So let's get to it. Here's the deal. I have a love-hate relationship with Fast Track. So let me tell you what I love. What I love about Fast Track is what it does for our business. Okay. I love the momentum that it creates. I love the accountability. I love watching teams of 4 come together for a common goal and build lifelong friendships. I love watching them earn whatever the prize is. For me personally, I love a good 90-day run. Okay. Like I love a 90-day run. I'm super competitive. I love a leaderboard. Like put me in, coach, I'm ready. So I love all of those things. The things that kind of make me sad about Fast Track is, let's use right now, for example, we are currently about 4 minutes into this thing. Okay. We're like not even through the first quarter. And at least what I have seen in some of my organization is people doubting themselves, people already giving up on themselves or their team, people looking left and right. People comparing, people feeling like they're not good enough or they're not enough because they don't have 500 points on the leaderboard. That makes me sad. And so I want you guys all to repeat after me. You can do it virtually in your living room. This is not about a trip, okay? This is not about a trip. To be clear, me saying that this is not about a trip is not an excuse to not earn the trip. It's not an excuse to not do the activity. What I'm telling you is that if you stop focusing on the outcome and focus on the activity, the trip will come. I'm super excited about that trip. I was listening to Amy. I already planned, like I want to go to the Grand Canyon. We just brought the girls home from Ukraine. I want to take the girls to the Grand Canyon, right? But it's the activity that's going to get me there. It's not focusing on the end result. If it's not about the trip, what else is it about? It's about building residual income, okay? It's about being a person that stays committed to your goals and your word, even when it's hard, okay? It's about being proud at the end of this that you kept your word. And it's about building those small daily habits. I want you to make a promise to me right now and a promise to yourself that you are going to let go of the things that no longer serve you in 2021, okay? I want you to start letting go of the comparison trap, the looking left and right, the beating yourself up, okay? Ask yourself when you find yourself getting caught in these things, does this make the boat move any faster? Does this get me any closer to my goals? And does this serve me in a positive way, okay? If the answer is no to those, then stop doing it, right? So to call out the elephant in the room, some of you might be like, well, that's easy for you to say, Kim, you've got like 90 points, right? So here's the thing. Like I said, I love a good leaderboard. I am so competitive. It's like probably a borderline mental disorder. So fast track, a leaderboard serves me very well. Okay. It serves me very well. If it doesn't serve you though, that's okay. Stop looking at it. Okay. If comparison puts you into paralysis and stops you from doing the activities that help you move forward, leave it at the door. Every single one of your guys' journeys are different. And I want to give an example of that. We recently had a marketing executive do a training for my organization, and she told her story. And this was the story that she told. Her story was that it took her 2.5 years to hit senior director. She said that she had builders fall off. She thought she was going to hit goals that she didn't. One of the most powerful things that she said was, I did so many things wrong. I did like everything wrong. And the only things that I did right was that I never gave up and I consistently enrolled. Okay. So this person is now a national director 9. Okay. She has a residual income of $35,000 a month and a 97% reorder rate. Like, get out of town. Okay. And she changed my entire life at my Road to Executive Director 3.5 years ago when she spoke on stage and talked about not taking shortcuts and just focusing on the work. Who is this person? Her name is Brooke Paulin. Some of you may know her. And I can promise you, she has inspired more people with her story to keep going than I ever could. We all have different journeys and we all have a path. Okay. Stay the course and do the activity. There are no shortcuts in life. Off to left field again for a minute. I'm going to use another fitness analogy for you because here's the deal. I have had 4 babies in 8 years. Baby June's 9 months old. I'm trying to get that baby weight off, right? And so about 6 months ago, I decided to hire a trainer because I was not doing the activity that I needed to do to get this baby weight off. And so I knew if I hired someone that was waiting for me, that was going to hold me accountable, I would show up to do the work. Okay. I also kind of needed someone to like pinch my flabby arms and make me a little bit uncomfortable, right? That's fast track, right? We're going to get a little uncomfortable. Daily accountability is like pinching the arms. Okay. I knew if I made an appointment and someone was waiting for me, I would show up. You guys have people waiting for you to show up. So what happened with my trainer was, I had 1 day a week appointments. Sometimes I showed up, sometimes I didn't, right? My appointments were at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, the wheels would fall off my day. I can find any excuse. Okay. I can find any excuse not to work out. Or to eat nachos. Like, I had a good day, I'm going to eat nachos. I had a bad day, I'm going to eat nachos. Like, any excuse, I promise you. And I can make nachos out of anything. Ask Art. So I'm like finding all the excuses not to go. I'm not doing the work. I'm not eating the right foods. And then at the same time, I'm frustrated. Okay. I'm like, why am I not a size 2 again? Like, why have I not lost the baby weight? Well, you can't eat burrito bowls and nachos every day and maybe work out 1 time a week and like lose 20 pounds. You got to do the work. Okay. Again, does this sound familiar to any of you? What I would ask is relate this to your Melaleuca business. Relate this to fast track. All right. If you are being really honest with yourself, are you doing the right activities? If you're not, guess what? There's still time to change that. If you are, I promise you it'll pay off, and I'll get more into that at the end. Okay. So about 2 months ago, I'm driving to my trainer and I'm like annoyed, right? It's like 4 p.m. and I'm annoyed because I wanted to cancel. I probably wanted to take a nap. Like, whatever it was, I didn't want to go that day. And I'm just thinking about all the other things that I could be doing. I could be working my business. I could be with the kids. I could be cleaning my house. I could be folding laundry. And it hits me like a ton of bricks. Kim, you have 6 kids, 10 chickens, a bunny, and a little dog, and your dad's living with you. Okay. Something is going to show up every day that your mind is going to tell you is more important. Something will show up every day for you in your Melaleuca business. Maybe it's work. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe you're taking care of a parent. Maybe you have a lot of pets. Something is always going to get in the way. If I don't make it a priority, something will always get in the way. And so I made a promise to myself that I would start adding my workouts first thing in the morning. And I want to move into my morning routine and how that relates to Melaleuca. Okay. So about 3 years ago, I was a stay-at-home mom. Art was still working in the hospital. I had 3 kids under 5. and I was trying to work my Melaleuca business. I was really trying to get to national director. And I kind of did this famous live in our team page. It was the summertime, so all of our kids were home. We were all struggling, trying to find hours in the day. And so on this live, all three of my children are like on me at one point. They're all crying at separate points. I'm crying, right? They're crying and I'm crying, and I'm like, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. But I asked the team, I said, are any of you guys struggling? Do you feel like you need more hours in the day? And the answer was a like resounding yes. Okay. Here's the thing. You can't make more hours in the day. There's 24. That's all you get. And so if I wanted to hit the goals that I had, I was going to have to find more hours, which meant get up early. I'm not a morning person. So we got this resounding yes. And so we decided, okay, tomorrow we're going to get up at 5 a.m. and start doing working Zooms. There's 75 people on our first working Zoom. I'm not a morning person. Art was like dragging me out of bed. Like, you got people waiting for you. Again, that's accountability. I didn't have a choice to not show up. People were waiting for me to show up. The first 6 months, you can ask my team that were with me back then, like the first 6 months, first 20 minutes, like nobody's allowed to talk to me. Don't talk to me. We're just going to like drink our coffee in silence. But I did it, you guys, and I didn't die. I made it through. And so now, 3 years later, I have trained my body and my mind to pop out of bed at 4:45 a.m. every single day without fail. Can we cue the first slide, please? So you can see on my little daily wake up app that pretty much every single morning, I keep joking about this one long one that's hanging down. June must have had a bad night. But I am up every single day at 4:45 in the morning, okay, without fail. And I grab my Apple Watch and I grab my workout pants and I come out to my office. So I know that people have asked a lot, what in the world are these people doing at 5 a.m.? So go ahead and show the next slide, please. I am going to give you the tips and tricks and what my daily schedule looks like, okay? So my daily routine is this: 4:45 a.m. I wake up. You saw that on the last slide. I grab a cup of Mountain Cabin coffee and I come out to my office. My office is outside the house. And 5 to 6:30 a.m. is Kim's business time. I'm going to break down what that looks like in just a second. 6:30 to 7 a.m. we just added this in. I do my fast track team call. I will let you know, again, when we were trying to decide when we were going to do our call, I was originally thinking 4 p.m. and I thought, Kim, don't do it because you will cancel. Because I know myself, I operate better in the mornings. 7 a.m. workout. 8 a.m. I go inside. I take a break. I get myself ready for the day. I get my kids ready for the day and have breakfast. So that 5 to 6:30 a.m. work chunk, when I say Kim business time, that is 100% dedicated to my own personal business, okay? I do zero coaching at this time. I only focus on my own business. And then at 9 a.m. when I come back out to my office, I do a working Zoom for my team. And that is the time that I dedicate to coaching. They get an hour of my time every single day. 10 a.m. I'm done and it's family time. And I will let you guys know that when I started this type of schedule, it was out of necessity. We were all crying and nobody knew how we were going to work our business. Now I do this because my the number one most important thing to me right now is to be with my family, to be with my girls, to spend time with my husband. So I do this out of choice. So that way I'm done with all of the hard stuff at 10 o'clock in the morning and I have the whole day to spend with my family. Okay. And then I spend 2 nights, one night a week, we do a team call and we do an overview. So what are we doing? I know people have asked, right? Oh, they're so confused. What are we doing at 5 o'clock in the morning every day? So here's the deal. One of the tools that I utilize for my business is I will utilize social media as a way to add names to my contact list. So I want to show you guys this. This is my desk. This is where I sit every morning. These are a bunch of notebooks that I just got for the new year. Some of them are full, some of them are not. I want to be super clear on this one, okay? When I say I am utilizing social media to add names to my contact list, it is a tool, okay? What I am not doing is mass spamming people. I'm not mass sending out videos. I'm not mass spamming Melaleuca everywhere. I'm going to show you what I do. Or I'm going to tell you what I do. So every morning I post to my Facebook stories, okay? My goal is to build relationships and let people see a like little glimpse into my life. If you don't know what Facebook stories are, they're that little circle at the top of your news feed, and it's meant to look like a story throughout the day. So again, super clear, I'm not going in there and blasting Melaleuca through my stories. What you're gonna see is maybe me on my Peloton bike. You're gonna see me taking Ella to horse. You're gonna see me working out with the teenagers, or you're gonna see Art outside working in the yard. You might somewhere in there see me drinking an Access shake. You might see some Sabella, but the goal is to show a story of my day and my life. I do these activities that I'm telling you about right now every morning on autopilot without fail. Okay. I go in and I wish people happy birthdays every day. I just go in and say happy birthday to people. Again, I'm building relationships. So that way, when the time is right, I can talk to them about Melaleuca. I add 5 to 10 people a day from common groups. Okay. So this is another one where people get confused. I'm not mass spamming like work from home groups. I'm going to groups that I have common interests in. Facebook is centered around groups. So maybe that's going to be like a dog group or a knitting group or a gardening group or a cooking group or an adoption group, right? I'm in a ton of local adoption groups. And I'm going to find people that I like. So look at, I showed you the notebooks, okay? Here are some of my contact lists. This is one where just up at the top I said watch. So I see Susie and I'm like, Susie looks cool. She adopted some kids. I might want to work with her. And I'm going to put her name on my list, okay? Right? And so I've got this list right here that says watch. I've got another list. So when I'm going through stories in the morning, when I'm going through social media and I'm engaging with people, I'm writing down the names of people that I think could benefit from Melaleuca products, who is like everyone, by the way, right? Everyone brushes their teeth. Or I'm looking for people I might want as a business partner. I have a list right here. Darren laughed at this when I did my rehearsal. This one says delete, okay? There are some people I don't really want to do business with. They're not my people. And so I'm going to delete those people. I also, on this list, my stack of lists, I have one up here. You can see it says overview invites. Okay. So when I'm out here, I am inviting to overviews on certain days of the week. I'll explain that in just a second. So I add 5 to 10 people from common groups with people I've built a relationship with per day. Times 5 by 365, that's like what? 1,500 new names per year of just people that you're going to become friends with. I engage for 20 to 30 minutes in Facebook stories. I engage 20 to 30 minutes from my 30s list. I'll show you that on the next slide. I want to be super clear. Engaging is me saying, hey, your kids are super cute. Hey, do you have the recipe for that chicken you just posted? Hey, good job, girl, because she's doing a Peloton. Like, right on. Yes, queen. What it's not is going to people that watch my stories or like my posts and saying, hey, have you heard of Shop Club? That's not. That's burning the fields. Okay. So on the next slide, I want to show you what my 30s list is. So can you cue the next slide? Okay, there we go. So what is a 30s list? I spend 20 minutes a day engaging from this. Okay. Professional friend maker, whether you are doing this 100% face-to-face or 100% social media or a little bit of both. Your job is to be a professional friend maker. And your goal is to build relationships with people and make them like you, love you, know you, and trust you. So that's what I'm doing in the mornings when I'm utilizing social media, okay? 3 lists of 30. I do this every month. This is my contact list for the month, okay? Again, I am not messaging these people unsolicited randomly. The rule throughout my organization is this. You build a relationship with someone until you feel like you have enough of a relationship that if you were to ask them to go to coffee because you were in town, it wouldn't be weird. And if you don't have that relationship, you do not approach them about Melaleuca, okay? That's our rule. We want to make sure that we're super compliant and we are not burning the fields. So my list of 30, I have 3 of them. One of them is people who I have spoken to about Melaleuca products or have expressed interest in a Melaleuca product. Maybe this is someone that has a borrow basket. Maybe this is someone that commented on a post asking, you know, about my Access shake. Maybe this is someone that watched an overview or they are looking at a catalog, but they have not enrolled yet. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to love on them. I'm going to continue to build a relationship with them and form that trust. Okay. The next 30 people are people who frequently like, comment, or react to my posts, but I've not spoken to about Melaleuca. So these are going to be posts about, you know, like art, you know, he wants to shave his whole head right now. It's like a whole thing in my house. Anyways, so people that are like laughing at that, or hearting a post about my adoption, or hearting a post about me working out with the girls. I'm just engaging with them and making friends, okay? And then this last one, 30 people who literally have no clue who they are from your friends list. So this one might be weird if you only have people on your friends list that you know. I don't, because like I said, I'm constantly trying to utilize ways to meet new people. And so my goal is to make friends with those new people, okay? And this is what I'm doing in the morning. Again, just thoughtful interaction. Next slide. And the last thing I do, and this is in terms of habits, okay? We live and die by our schedule on my team, okay? Do you have your week calendared out? Do you have your day calendared out? Do you have, okay? If not, here's something that you could possibly utilize. We live and die by our schedule. We live and die by our overview schedules. We live and die by this schedule that I'm showing you right here, okay? Day of the week add-ons. If you were to ask anybody in my organization, what do we do on Mondays? They're gonna tell you customer service. Because for 3.5 years, every day on Monday, I message my customers, okay? Every single day. Melaleuca gives us so many opportunities to message our customers, right? They're, you know, maybe it's the baby line, maybe it's the methylated B vitamins, maybe it's Sabella coupons, maybe it's a little email that they send to us, right? Maybe it's launch. They are constantly giving us reasons to interact with our customers. So every Monday, when I'm doing that 5:30 to 6:30 a.m. work chunk, without even thinking about it, on autopilot, I open up my follow-up center and I message my customers. So do the rest of my team, because what you do duplicates. Duplication is a thing, okay? Tuesdays, we do strategy sessions. Clearly, we're not doing those at 5 o'clock in the morning, but those are our strategy session days. We do these on our working Zooms because, you know, it's one of the critical business building activities. If you're not routinely doing strategy sessions, I would suggest working on it. We do them on our working Zooms, so that way nobody falls through the cracks, right? Maybe they have an enroller that's not super active. Maybe their enroller's new and doesn't know how to do a strategy session. So we make sure that we're training on those every Tuesday and we're providing them to anybody that's new. And the method to our madness is this, which is if we do strategy sessions on Tuesday and then we have people get their initial contact list, we are then able to say, come back to us on Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, we invite and approach, okay? You can see that from my one overview invite, okay? I do the Wednesday night overview, and so Wednesdays we invite and approach. Thursdays we focus on celebration, so this is going to be where maybe you're going to see me shouting out people in the team page, right? And then Fridays, ask anybody in my organization, what do we do on Fridays? They know it's follow-up Friday, okay? So scheduling is a thing. What gets scheduled gets done. What doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done, okay? I want you guys to remember this though. It's the small habits that build up over time, good or bad, okay? So waking up early, sleeping in late, drinking water or drinking soda, adding names to your contact list or not. It compounds. It's a thing, positive or negative. You do not have to master 1,000 things here. You have to master a couple and do them 1,000 times. For me, that's the first 3 critical business building activities, okay? I want you to do them until you're at the point that you want to bang your head against the wall. My regional, Ben Sweetwood, always told me, when you're at the point that you want to bang your head against the wall, you're almost there, okay? So master a few things and do them 1,000 times, okay? One last fitness analogy I want to use is, go ahead and cue the next slide, please. So I bought a Peloton, right? And you actually can't see this, but up here on that first slide, I had done, it was actually 2 full weeks of Peloton rides. I was so excited. I was on it every single day. And then Monday, the 21st rolled around and I decided to break from my schedule and do a training in the team page. And then one of my kids started yelling and they were crying. And then like, again, the wheels fell off my day. So I never got on the bike. And then I was like, well, it's holiday week. I'm going to be eating prime rib and like twice baked potatoes. What's the point? So I didn't get on all week. And then the following week was a holiday week, right? And so it took me 2 weeks of being off. Can you relate that to your Melaleuca business, right? You take one day and you don't do the things that you're supposed to be doing. And the next thing you know, it's 2 weeks off. Get back on the bike, okay? Promise yourself that you will not go to bed at night for the next 90 days without having done something to move your Melaleuca business forward. All right. Moving forward to my next topic. Okay. I want you to know that you're going to fall down. You're going to get a little scraped up during this. Okay. I'd be lying to you if I said that you weren't. You're not leaving this unscathed. But if you fall down 100 times, you get up 101. Not easy, but simple. I want to give you a perfect example of that. And can you show the slides of Maxine, please? This is my daughter, Maxine. So for those of you, many of you know her story. And for those of you that don't, my daughter, Maxine, was diagnosed with a rare spinal condition right at about a year old. If these photos are alarming to you, I apologize, but you can see in the first photo just how bad her spine was. She actually had a 90-degree curve in her spine by the time she was casted at 15 months old. The photo in the middle is Maxine at 15 months old, the day that she got her first body cast. She actually ended up having 10 of these body casts over the course of 3 years. That middle photo, that body cast weighed a third of her weight. Okay, so it was about 7 to 8 pounds, and she weighed 20 pounds. So I want you to imagine trying to learn how to live life with a third of your body weight, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 pounds strapped to your body. That's what Maxine had to do. She couldn't sit up. She couldn't feed herself. She couldn't walk. And I didn't get emotional when I rehearsed this, but here we are. You can see my husband, Arthur, carrying her out of the children's hospital to get her in the car. It took weeks for Maxine to be able to get up and walk again. It was the worst time in my family's entire life. She kept trying to sit up. She was like a turtle stuck on her back, and she would scream and scream and scream. She had pressure sores. It was a bad time, but she kept trying. She's a tough little girl, and she kept trying. And she would sit up and she would fall and hit her head. I mean, like, I needed a straitjacket at that time in my life. She actually had fallen at one point trying to learn how to re-walk. She chipped her front tooth. I had called her Chip for a long time. She actually just lost that baby tooth. It made me really sad because I had gotten attached to it. But she would try to sit up and she would fall. She would try to stand up and she would fall. It took weeks. But I want to show you what she was able to do after about a month. Go ahead and cue the first video. Maxie, Max, look, you're walking, you're walking, you're walking, big girl. Okay. She is a tough little girl. She is my inspiration in everything that I do. And one last little story about Maxine, and we'll get to the end of this. We were told by multiple doctors that Max would never live to see the age of 5. If she did live, they said that she would be in a wheelchair. Her legs would never be able to carry her body. They said her spine would never be cured. It was so bad that she would be like this for her whole life. They told us that she would need growing rods implanted into her back by the time she was 6. But kids are amazing. And they're resilient. And so I want to go ahead and show you one more video. Can you cue the next video, please?
I'm not gonna fall. I'm not gonna fall. I'm not gonna fall.
You can do it. Okay, come on.
You do it.
Come on. You can do it, Max. You're doing it. You're doing it. See? Look. You're doing it. You're doing it.
I love you, Mama.
That's my girl. And that child that they said wouldn't live to the age of 5 will be 7 this summer. She got that bike for Christmas. She took a bad fall on her first ride on it. And so that's why she's saying, I'm not going to fall. I'm not going to fall. And so when you think about giving up, I want you to think about Maxine. I want you to remember her, okay? I want you to be like Max. Defy the odds. Never give up. And if she can do this, so can you. If you fall down 100 times, get up 101. So just like the simple calculation for weight loss is calories in versus calories out, there is a simple calculation for success with Melaleuca, Next slide, please. And for me, in my opinion, the recipe for success here is the critical business building activities times hard work, okay? Hard work for me is habits and consistency, okay? Times falling on your face a lot, okay? And that is what equals success here. So again, no matter where you are, no matter how many points you have, no matter how many times you have fallen down, it starts now, and this is your chance to build your habits for 90 days in small, consistent ways. One last story, and then I want to leave you with some action items, okay? There's the woman within my organization. Her name is Tammy Swayze. Tammy enrolled about a year ago. She's my personally enrolled. Tammy showed up to every single working Zoom that our organization had for 5 months, okay? And we had like 5 working Zooms a day. She's probably dying right now that I'm shouting her out, but it's my favorite story, okay? 5 working Zooms a day for 5 months. And she showed up and she was coachable, but like she could not enroll a customer to save her life. Like no matter what she did, she could not enroll a customer, but she kept showing up and she kept showing up for 5 months, you guys. And then finally one day she enrolled a customer, and then she enrolled another customer, and then she enrolled another customer. Well, Tammy now has like 30 active customers. She just developed her first director, and last month we got to call to congratulate her for advancing her business to director 3, okay? Have the grit and consistency that Maxine and Tammy have. If you do, you may be our next newest director 3, senior director or executive director, and you might earn a rockin' vacation. All right, last thing I want to leave you with is my last slide, and these are some action items, okay? These are some things that I want you to focus on over the next 90 days, okay? You guys might think I'm crazy. Number 1, designate a workspace. That workspace is not your bed, okay? I want you to pick a spot. Maybe it's a corner of your kitchen table. That was my workspace in California for the longest time, but a workspace. Put your notebooks there, put your contact list there, find a workspace. I want you to designate work hours, okay? Don't tell me I'm gonna work 2 hours a day or I'm gonna work an hour a day. What 2 hours, what hour? Is that 7 a.m. to 8 a.m.? Are you gonna get up early like me? What hour? Block that time out so you know where you're supposed to be. I want you to start getting up 15 to 30 minutes early until you don't feel like you're dying, okay? So like if you need to block it out in chunks, do that. Once you master the first chunk, then bump it up a little bit, okay? I want you to make your bed every day. This seems so simple, and maybe some of you think that I'm crazy. It takes 5 minutes. I promise you, my days are so much better when I wake up and make my bed every day, okay? And the last one here, I'm speaking to the moms out there, specifically the stay-at-home moms. It is really easy for us to be the last thing that we take care of in the day, right? And we've got all these kids, and I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time, and I still am. Art's home full-time. We homeschool, I work from home, and I can easily stay in my pajamas until 2 p.m., okay? I'm not telling you that you need to get up and do like full hair and makeup. I'm telling you, get up and be the CEO of your life, okay? Be the CEO of your family, because you are, right? Be the CEO of your life and the CEO of your family. Take 15 minutes, put on your nice black stretchy pants, okay? And all of the women out there, you know what I'm talking about, okay? The nice ones, not your pajamas, but your nice pair. Every woman has a nice pair of black stretchy pants. So put on your nice pair, put on a little bit of lip gloss and some mascara, turn on a playlist, and like own your day, okay? Do all of these activities for the duration of Fast Track while doing the critical business building activities and your daily accountability, and let me know if your life isn't different at the end. That's all I got.
Thank you, Kim. There's so many things you gave us there. And so now everyone, on the very bottom of your Zoom screen, there should be a little icon there with chat, or off to the right. We're gonna give you a chance. I'd like to hear from you. We'd like to see, what is your biggest takeaway from Kim's training? Or what is the one habit that you're going to start doing today? So just put that in the chat right there, and we're going to leave that chat open moving forward for what we're going to be doing next. And I'll have a chance to chat with you as well. Everyone, you have a unique opportunity now to practice some of the things that Kim was talking about as far as habits and consistency, the critical activities. And so we're going to get to that in just a second. But here's what I'm looking at. I can see right now the number of people that are on this Zoom, and it is in the thousands, which I'm not surprised by. You now have this opportunity to be part of this power hour. And I'll tell you that the reason that you came here today, the reason you showed up today is the same reason that you're still here. So stay with us and to see this through here today and take part in this power hour. It'll be the best thing you can do for yourself, getting out just outside of your comfort zone and putting some of these things into practice. You know, Kim mentioned Peloton. Well, my wife bought me a Peloton, and I have to tell you that I'm a huge fan of it. What I love about it is that there are the days that I really don't want to be on the bike. But what I do is I just get on the bike and I just start pedaling. And because there are thousands of people that are there, they motivate and inspire, and there's a little bit of high-fiving, and before I know it, I'm doing things that I really didn't want to do in the first place. And that's the same essence of being here today together with this big Melaleuca family, and also with Power Hour, because there's strength in numbers, and when Melaleuca does this, we are in the process of changing lives, in the process of changing your business. So everyone, before I hand off to Kevin, remember, we have 7 days left for dollar memberships. We still have that. What a unique opportunity. And also 7 days left to earn the Big Enroll 2 promotion. Those are the short-term steps for you so that you then keep on track toward your goals. And now, everyone, I need you right here. Be part of Power Hour. Kevin, it's all yours.
Thank you, Darren. Thanks, Kim, and what a powerful story. I see these chats on my computer's blowing up with all the chats, and I'm seeing a lot of, as fast as it's moving, a lot of scheduling time to do those activities and making calls every day. And we're going to have the opportunity to do that now while it's fresh, while the emotion's strong, while our confidence is good. And, you know, Kim, I think, did a good job helping build belief in all of us, that sometimes we look at a marketing executive of the year and we think, you know, she's a superhero. And although she certainly is, she's real, and she has the same emotions and challenges and that we all face with the daily distractions and everything else. And I think we're feeling pretty good. So never a better time to start picking up the phone, start making some approaches than when we're feeling good about things, and also to leave here today with some action plan. You know, Frank calls it saddling up versus riding. You know, attending a meeting, talking with your team every day for Fast Track, that's all saddling up. It's getting ready, but it's not riding. Riding is, they're the 7 critical business building activities, specifically those first 3. So we're going to have the opportunity to ride. And the amazing thing about those first 3 activities is, whether you're a presidential director or marketing executive of the year or brand new, your next step is an approach. And that's what you need to move your business forward. Everybody here needs the same thing to move their business forward. So we're going to get the opportunity to hear from one of Melaleuca's finest. And with that in mind, I'm going to turn it over to our Senior National Vice President, Mr. Mark Townsend. Mark, it's all you.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much. And I have to tell you, this has been like a really powerful message from Kim. And I have just so many notes that I've taken. And Kim, thank you. One of my favorite notes was at the end. I actually took a picture of it right there. I hope that all of you could see that, but that was a powerful recipe. And the recipe: critical business building activities times hard work, habits and consistency, falling on your face equals success. And I think that is a great lead in to what we're about to do right now with Power Hour. And that is practicing all the things that we're learning in the critical activities. And we're going to focus on the very first 2. Critical activity number 1, adding names to your contact list, and critical business building activity number 2, setting appointments. And we have got a 27-year veteran, a very good friend of mine that has been around Melaleuca for a really long time, that's going to lead us in providing some great suggestions and some great tips and ideas about how to add names to your contact list and how to set appointments. So if you've got something to take some notes on, pad of paper or pen or your electronic device, whatever that may be, I would get ready to take some notes, because she is going to give us a tremendous amount of information. It's a wealth of knowledge coming from her 27 years. She enrolled in November of 1994. So she's seen Melaleuca grow up over the years. Pretty impressive. Achieved senior director in April of 1997, executive director in June of 2000. She's currently an executive director 9 with Melaleuca. and which is awesome. She has over 262 personal enrollees, 26 directors. She has over 5,000 preferred customers. I mean, holy cow. I mean, that is incredible residual income. She's been a member of our fastest growing businesses 22 times in her career. She's a current member of our Executive Director Council, which is a very special assignment that we provide to, maybe 5 or 6 very influential members in the field to give suggestions and ideas to the corporate staff about how we can become a better company. She's been a member of that in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 2017, 18, 19, and she's a current member, and she is a wealth of knowledge, and I'm so happy to have her. So without further ado, Stacy, let's get to work, shall we?
Okay, well, I love the work part, Mark, and Kim did a great job of sharing exactly what she does every day to move her business forward. And it's so, it's interesting because Kim has built her business mostly utilizing social media, and I built my business typically belly to belly. So over the last 9 months, I've certainly had to pivot a little bit. But whether you're building your contact list through social media or you're building your contact list belly to belly, there really isn't any difference. You know, it's our critical activity #1 for a reason, because without a robust or an expanding contact list, we're not in business. So this is a relationship business as well. Kimberly mentioned that people want to do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. And I think sometimes when we're thinking about adding names to our contact list, we tend to prejudge people. Who's we should put on our list, who's maybe we think might not be interested. So here's what I want you to think about your contact list. I want you to imagine that you own a dress boutique, or maybe you own a men's clothing store, and you've got the best location in town. You've got an unbelievable assortment of dresses or suits. They're priced at a great price. They're made right here in North America. You have awesome customer service, and you have a great return policy. Would you want everyone to know about your boutique? Of course you would. Now, you'd want everyone to come in and take a look at your boutique, and you hope that they would purchase, but you wouldn't expect every person to buy a new dress or a new suit. And that's how we need to think about our contact list in Melaleuca, because your contact list is your inventory. And I think sometimes we think to ourselves, it's what's between our ears. What if I'm bugging them? I don't want to be that person. What if they say no? What if they think we're like a multi-level marketing company? Well, what if you take you out of the equation and you start thinking, what if they really need this? What if I could really help them? What if they don't really know what Melaleuca is all about and how we're able to change lives? And when you start thinking about that, then every name goes on your list, because these are not names. You know, I think everybody that's joined us here today will tell you that Melaleuca has changed their lives in some way or form, through our products or through our business. So in Melaleuca's Business Center, under Getting Started, there's some great documents that if you haven't had a chance to go and look at, some memory joggers. But what I want to do right now is maybe give you some ways to add names to your contact list. I hope you have your pen and paper handy. And in just a few minutes, you'll be able to see how quick it is to add a few names. So here's what I want you to do. Just categorize. Who do you know that loves to travel? You know, Amy, I mean, she got us all dreaming about where our next trip is going to be. Who do you know that's maybe had to cancel a trip over the past 9 months? Who do you know that's in the travel industry or the hospitality industry that's been affected by this pandemic? Who do you know that's maybe put a little COVID weight on? That would be me. Who do you know that has eczema or asthma or allergies? Who do you know that has recently lost their job? Or maybe they've been downsized, or maybe their hours have been cut? Who do you know from church? Or who do you know that loves to volunteer? And hopefully, as I'm giving you some suggestions, you're writing down some names. Who do you know that has little ones? Who do you know that has a new baby? Or maybe is a new grandma? Who do you know from school? You know, that could be past classmates, but man, I think if you have little ones or kids, they are a huge source of referrals. They, you know, maybe it's from their sports, for instance. Maybe it's their classmates, their teachers, you know, from kindergarten all the way up to university, for instance. Who do you know in sports? You know, maybe you've been on a hockey team or a baseball, or your kids have been on different teams. Write down every single person. Maybe it's neighbors, old and new. You know, your customers are also a great source of referrals as well. So probably in just the few minutes that we've been here together, you've probably already added 10 or 15 names. Now, how do you expand your contact list? Well, we have this handy little thing right here called the phone. And how many names are in your phone? Are all of those names on your contact list? Maybe it's old yearbooks. Have you ever thought about pulling out your old yearbooks from, you know, high school, for instance? That could not only be a great way to be entertained, but look at all the people that are in those yearbooks. How about your wedding list? How many people attended your wedding? Do you have all of those people on your contact list? You know, Kim did a great job about talking about social media. How many friends do you have on social media and all of your social media accounts? And then it's all about calendaring that time to make sure that you're meeting new people as well. Whether you're taking Kim's suggestions on how to do that every single day through social media, or if you're belly to belly, making the intention to go out and meet people and create those relationships. Because again, people want to do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. And I love what Kim said. Whether, you know, it's belly to belly or social media, it's having those social graces, not pouncing on people. Because when you develop a relationship, then you're able to find a need. And when you find a need, you've got a great lead. So I always suggest that you do things that you love to do, because then it never feels like work. You know, I was chatting with someone the other day and she goes, oh my gosh, I'm in love with pickleball. And I'm thinking to myself, everybody's in love with pickleball. I'm at that age that, you know, I thought it was maybe for really old people, but I think I'm in that category now. But I thought, oh my gosh, why not try pickleball? Think of all the people you could meet. Maybe it's the gym and going to specific classes. And today you might not be able to attend a gym class, but there are so many classes available online now. Maybe it's a travel group. Maybe it's a cooking class in person or online. So my suggestion would be find common groups that you can join in person or online, because then it's not fun, it's not work. You're having fun meeting new people. And make it a goal to add names to your contact list every single day. You never know how that one name could lead to your next business builder. You know, I'm a big fan, and Kim mentioned it as well, to get things done early in the day. And I love this book. It's called Eat That Frog, okay? And when you go to this book, in the first few pages, here's what it says. The first rule of frog eating is this. If you have to eat 2 frogs, eat the ugliest one first. And the second rule of frog eating is if you have to eat a live frog at all, it doesn't pay to sit and look at it for very long. So I think sometimes the easy part is to make the contact list. The hard part is to then approach that person. So we're just going to spend a few minutes today. You've got some names on your list, and we're going to just spend a couple of minutes talking about some simple approaches, and then we're going to do the work. And I really believe in picking up the phone so people can hear your voice and the intonation, the excitement, the enthusiasm. But I also know that a lot of people text. I have a 24-year-old daughter, and if the phone actually rang and she picked it up, that would be weird, okay, because they live in a world of texting. But I think you can use texting very effectively. So I may text someone and say, hey, do you have a minute? I'd love to call you and ask you a quick question. Sometimes I'll throw in a little humor and say, hey, could we have a phone call like the old-fashioned way? LOL. If you're, the person that picking up that phone is really, really hard, I would really suggest even a voice message or a text message using voice so that, again, people can hear your enthusiasm. And I'm just going to quickly share with you some words not to use and some words maybe to use, because I really do believe that every approach is different. It needs to be authentic, and it needs to be you, and it needs to be natural, like having a conversation. So I don't use words like I just signed up or home-based business. I don't use words like joined or doing or I got involved in or I got in. I don't use words like tell, because if you use the word tell, they want you to tell it. Tell it to them. And this is a visual presentation. So I use words like this. I just have a few minutes, because approaching people shouldn't take a long period of time. I use words like, I'm excited to call you. I thought of you because. That is probably the approach that I use the most. In fact, when I'm having people build their contact list, I have their name, how to contact them, and I thought of you because we're going to use why you thought of them in the approach. I use words like partnered. I specialize in helping people be able to work from home. I specialize in helping families have better products, safer products in their home. I use words like, this might or might not intrigue you, but I think you'll be impressed. I use words like, I need your help. In fact, I use the help approach for probably, I don't know, the first 10 years of building a Melaleuca business. Listen, could you help me out? People said, sure. I'd love to share with you a new company that I started shopping at. They've got great products. When can we get together? I use words like, I love what I do. I thought you might appreciate this. I'd love to give you a virtual tour. So I use words like, no pressure. You won't be able to unsee it once you've seen it. Do you have time today? So probably the thing that I think most people do is they overcomplicate this. They think too much rather than just kind of diving in. And so one of my new favorite approaches is as simple as this. We heard it at launch from Corporate Director 6, Aaron Clark. Has anyone ever shared Melaleuca.com with you? It's an easy yes or no. If they say no, well, oh my gosh, I'd love to be the person to share it with you. And then book the appointment. Just say, are you free tonight at 8 o'clock? So my advice would be, don't say, when would be a good time for you? Just say, I'm free at 8 o'clock tonight. Would that work for you? Or give them 2 times. I might say something as simple as this. Listen, I've been thinking about you. Are you shopping at Melaleuca.com? Now, if they say, oh, I know someone that does that, which of course we hear, or sometimes I'll even hear, oh, I know someone that sells that. I go, really? Well, you haven't heard it from me. Does 8 o'clock work tonight? And that's, I guess, what you would say having a little bit of posture. But again, our job is just to book the appointment. So I'll say things like this just to wrap up. I'm really excited, and I thought of you because I know that you want the best for your family. I know you're always looking to get, great products at a great price. So I have no idea if this would be a fit for you or not, but I started shopping at this amazing store, and would you be open to taking a look? Worst case scenario is you might know someone I can help. And I think the biggest, advice that I can give you is, again, that's when you need to kind of zip it. And what you really need to do is just book that appointment. And if they keep on asking you questions, which they do, say, listen, that's why I really want to do a virtual tour, so that you can see exactly what I saw. Then you be the judge. I think you'll be impressed. You might use a couple of quick approaches like this. Hey, Mark, just checking in on you. Hope you're staying safe during these crazy times. And listen, I wanted to see if you're free tonight. We're kind of a virtual tour of my favorite online shopping store. Grab, whatever you want to drink. Listen, you can even be in your pajamas, or as Kim would say, your good, sweatpants. Are you free at 8 o'clock tonight? So again, keeping it really, really simple. I may say something like, years ago, I partnered with this amazing wellness company, and they manufacture everyday essentials, the types of products that we all use every single day, and everybody's loving that they don't have to leave their home to go to the store. So listen, I'd love to share it with you. I don't know if this would be for you or not, but I know you'll be impressed. Now, the other approach that you could use is, listen, there's a lot of people that have put on a few COVID pounds, and, people are just naturally talking about that. So when I have someone on my contact list, I might just put a little note in my brain going, I need to follow up with them. Again, not pouncing on them. So I might say something like this. I know, Mark, when we were talking the last couple of days, you're talking about getting healthier and losing a little bit of this COVID weight that we put on. And you know what? I'm starting a new program called R3, and I'm looking for someone to do it with me. It's not a diet, so there's no counting calories or anything like that or weighing foods, but I need an accountability partner. I'd love to share some information with you. Would you be up to it? And then wait and see what they say. But it's just a way to introduce them to Melaleuca. So, Mark, the approaches don't really change over the years. We're doing the same things over and over again, but it's really about picking up the phone, using social media, however you're using, whatever method you're using to be able to set appointments. That's the critical activities.
Well,
That's all I have.
Stacey, I have to tell you, I've been watching the chat the entirety of your training on critical business building activity number 1, adding names to the list, and critical business building activity number 2 on setting appointments. And I tell you, there are so many folks who are saying, I cannot write fast enough. This is amazing. And I love the words and I love the approaches. And anyway, I just want to tell you, thank you. And guess what? Now is the time, everybody, where we put the fear down and we muster up the courage and we put into action the things that Stacey has been talking about. And we're going to do that for 30 minutes, everybody. Joining me from our leadership development and coaching team is one of our world-class managers in the Central region, Mr. Ed Jessup. He's going to join us today, and he's going to help us with the chat. Now, here are a couple things, Ed, that I want to make sure that we get really clear. And by the way, welcome to our North American Live event, Ed. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Mark. It's great to be here.
All right, so as we get onto this power hour, the action part of it, Stacey, we're going to ask everybody to apply the things that they have learned and start making some approaches to those 5 or 10 names that maybe they wrote down early on when you were talking. And apply these very important learning, and let's get to work. Now, in the chat box, we're going to ask you over the course of the next maybe 25 minutes to share with us how you're doing. And when you set an appointment, let us know. If you're calling somebody and you get a no, it's okay. Let us know. We want to celebrate you. It's all part of the success cycle. We've got a plan. The plan is to do a power hour. We're going to implement the training right now. We're going to have a little bit of accountability, and we're going to celebrate you for doing this hard work. Okay. Now, with that being said, Ed, I think we got everything ready to go, correct?
We're all set.
All right, awesome. So I think on the count of 3, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to have a little bit of background music, Stacy, here for the 3 of us. We're going to keep an eye on the chat. Now, by the way, if you've got questions that come up, you want to ask Stacy directly, you can put that in the chat and we'll answer those questions. Now, for those that might be on a phone call, that might be a little bit of an interruption for you. So make sure you hit your mute button if you're on the phone. So while we're answering those questions, we don't bother you while you're making that very important call. All right, Ed, am I missing anything?
I think we're set. I do want to highlight, however, I just noticed in the chat as well, Pepper, I didn't catch the last name, but the first name was great. Pepper already set 2 appointments. So I think we're jumping the gun right now. Mark, I think it's time to start.
All right. Now, everybody, just so you know, at the end, we're going to ask you to give us a total of how many calls you made and how many appointments you set at the end. So keep it track. But in the meantime, let us know how you're doing. So on the count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Let's go.
All right. I'm going to open up the chat here on my screen.
I love watching this, Mark. As the chat is going, Susanna added 8 names to her contact list. That's incredible. 8 names to your contact list. Friendships, relationships you're going to be building. Business overview set. Corinne, great job.
Hey, Mark, can I add something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of questions about Stacy and your approaches. Stacy, you rocked it. A lot of people can't write fast enough. So Kevin and I connected. We will be making a recording of Stacy's approaches. We will make those available early next week for everybody, probably on Enhancing Lives Facebook. So watch for that. Stacy, well done. Really simple, really authentic. So that's all I got. Let me get out of the way.
Thank you. That's great news, Darren.
Glad to hear that. Huge request for that. Thank you.
Wait, Tammy McMahon added 14 names while Stacy was talking, Ed. Stacy, that's impressive. George, I was trying to see what George said. There was my goodness, he had already set 3 appointments. I think he was working while you were training.
Quick little story here, Mark, too. I want to share. You know, we did a power hour similar to this right after launch, or a few days after launch. And I have to say how much I underestimated people's ability to do things when we're in this kind of environment, in a working Zoom environment. I had created a small little poll that I was going to send out and ask, how many names did you add to your contact list? And I had written it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 plus. And that were the options. We ended up not using the poll because we saw in the chat people adding 15, 20, 30 names to their contact list in a matter of minutes as they join new groups or interact on their social media. That was such an underestimation. It's incredible to see what people can do working together like this. A team environment.
It is powerful what you can accomplish working from home, isn't it? Powerful. Stacy, I just noticed somebody added 100 minutes while you were talking. Look how amazing that is and how quick it can happen.
Hard time keeping up with the chat.
I know, pretty awesome. Jenny Silla added 15 names and Terry added 8. Look at that. I mean, there's tons of stuff happening right there.
Adding 10 names to my list. Teresa Brock, 12 names, I believe it was.
Oh my God, I can't keep up with the list, Stacy. I'm just with you. It's moving too quick. 112 names that I'm still adding. Okay, that's pretty great. One of the things that is awesome here is Tammy McMahon has already set 3 appointments. Way to go, Tammy. That's amazing. Congratulations. Well, Stacy, while we're watching this happen here, we talk about the idea of specializing here at Melaleuca, and I love that part of your training. And one of the things that I think is pretty cool is when we think about the approach, it says, I partner up with this, this powerful wellness company. And one of the things they do is they specialize in. And now you have to think about the need and where you put that need in, right? And I think that's the most powerful part. And maybe the need is, maybe they have some challenges with digestive health, right? So you can say something along the lines of, I partner up with this amazing company called Melaleuca, and they specialize in helping people just like you who might have challenges with digestive, concerns. Or maybe the need is, along the lines of eye health, right? Or heart health, or pain management, right? Is that kind of what you were getting at?
Absolutely. And Mark, right now I've been saying, I help people with immune health because everybody is concerned about their immune systems and staying healthy. So with everything that's going on right now, it's just a perfect fit. And it's a tie-in, and they go, really? And I go, oh my gosh, you need to check out this store.
Yeah, and think about the other things that we specialize in. We specialize in keeping a very friendly, eco-friendly cleaning environment for your home, where we have these amazing products that can fit that bill, right? So that's another thing that we specialize in. We specialize in low energy, right? With our Peak Performance Pack. We specialize in dental health is another powerful line at Melaleuca. I mean, if you have...
Well, looks like we just lost Mark for a minute, Ed.
It looks like we're trading off, tag teaming here as Mark drops off and I jump back in. Good heavens.
And when you talk about specializing, the beauty is that you're able to relate it to the person that you know. And so it's individual and it's authentic and it's kind of like their, hot buttons of what you think would be that they would be interested in. So that's what I love about I thought of you because, or I specialize in, and then you can fill in the blank. So I thought of you because, and be authentic. I know that you've been wanting to, stay at home with your kids. And I thought about you because I've been able to do that for the past number of years. And I'd love to share with you what I do. Really
I love that.
Have a conversation with someone.
That approach is so key, and in fact, I might ask you to repeat those words. You highlighted a few words that you use, and we don't need to go through the whole list, but there was one that caught my attention where you said things like partnered, specialized. Repeat those. Partnered, specialized, help, show. I guess put those words into an approach.
Yeah, I would say I partnered with this amazing company years ago. Now you may say I recently partnered with this amazing company that manufactures products right here in North America or right here in the US. I think that's a really big selling point to a lot of people right now. And they're everyday essentials that all of us need, shipped right to our front doorstep. And, and I'd love to share this with you. Sometimes I'll even use words like I market or educate for this amazing wellness company that offers products that are kind of like Whole Foods quality, but at Walmart type of pricing. I'd love to share how you can, have wellness products at great prices in your home.
I want to highlight, I'm just noticing Sue Link. That was one of the names I saw there, Sue Link, who had called 2 people and left 1 voicemail. And congratulations, Sue. But Stacy, I wanted to ask this question. It was asked earlier on, right as we were getting started. Let's say you leave a voicemail. What if they don't respond? What's your course of action?
So would that be ghosting?
Yeah, they're ghosting.
I think
What do
we've
you
all
do?
probably gone through that, right? Where we leave a voicemail or we leave a message. And it's so common. I just want people to know this. It's so common that we think, oh my gosh, they're avoiding us. And usually they don't even know why we're calling, okay? But people, it's what goes through our brain. And so I just give them a call back and I may say something like this, oh man, you must be really busy. I left you a message a couple of days ago. Listen, I still have a quick question to ask you. Give me a call back. I promise it'll only be a few minutes. Now, if it's via text, for instance, again, I may say, hey, you must be really busy. I left you a message the other day. Would love to chat for a few minutes. So again, just like normal conversation. And I think we live in a world today that and I know I do this. I think I'm going to call someone back or message them back, and then life gets crazy busy and I forget. And that just happens. And, again, most times they don't even know why we're calling. As long as you haven't tried to do an invite on your, message or on your voice message, they don't even know why we're calling. So just keep on following up with that person. And I think that because I was the person who canceled 3 times on corporate director for Mark and Lorna Atha, I don't give up until someone sits down and really takes a look at this, because they don't know how good this is until they look themselves.
Thank you for that, Stacy. Let's shift back to the chat box here as people are commenting. I'm seeing messages sent to 6. I see one appointment set several earlier. I want to highlight his name was David, and again I apologize, didn't catch the last name. It's moving fast enough. But I want to celebrate a no. He said I reached out and I got my first no. That's cause for celebration. Congratulations to that, and let's continue to celebrate as people are setting their appointments and adding names to their contact list. That's what this activity is. The rubber is meeting the road. Boots are on the ground right now. People are building their business right as we speak.
And Ed, I would say if you've got a no, don't take that person off of your contact list. You know what? Timing is everything. And 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, that person that said no, it may just be perfect timing for them at that point in time. So a no to me means not yet. Just not now.
No for now, not no forever. And now I see people actually throwing that into the chat, and I want to say congratulations to you. Entering those no's is valuable, and as a small reminder here too, plug these numbers in when we're done with the fast track. Put this, or with this power hour, put these numbers into your fast track team. Your reporting and accountability daily with your team. This counts. Add those no's in as attempted approaches. It matters, and it gives you reason to celebrate even more with the team. Number 2, scheduled so far. Congratulations, Mark.
And imagine if we did this for 15, 20 minutes every single day.
15 added to your contact list, Sherry. Incredible. This is just remarkable. Chris Weed, three dials right now. Joe Cohen, just working your business there. Faye, 9 calls, 3 messages, 6 not interested, right? Again, that's kind of back to those no's. Not interested now, but they're still on your contact list. 5 messages, congratulations, Alba, just remarkable. At the very end of this, I would love to just throw in a total number. How many names did you add to your contact list? How many approaches did you make today? How many appointments did you set today? Remember, those are those 3 numbers you're entering on a daily basis with your fast track team. Throw them into the chat. Where are you at right now? 5 contacted, 3 not now. Dawn, congratulations. Man, my eyes can't keep up. 25 people added to your contact list. Susanna, again. Samantha, 8 names added to your contact list. Congratulations. This to me is just so fascinating to see that the names you're added to your contact list right now. Some of them, if you approach some of those today, maybe it's a no today, but you're working on your business. And Stacy, maybe attest to this. The work that you're doing today represents growth in your business, not today only, but maybe it's next week, maybe it's a month. You're working 90, 60, 90 days ahead of yourself right now. Some of what you're doing right now is going to show up in your business 90 days later.
Absolutely.
Guys, did you see Isabel Lopez?
All right, guys, I think we're going to take about 2 more minutes. Ed, is that right? We've got about 2 more minutes to wrap up.
Yes, we are right near the end. So please wrap up your last phone calls here, or mute us and continue on. There's no reason you have to stop right now. But yes, we're going to end the power hour, and just throw those last little tidbits into the chat. You know, how many names did you add to your list? How many attempted contacts? How many appointments set?
Congratulations, Danielle. I see you got an appointment already. I mean, it's amazing what we can do in just a few minutes. Imagine if we did this activity.
To Stacy's point there too, same as Kevin was just stating, imagine if we did this every day. You saw Kim and Art McCauley's, you saw Kim's calendar, right? Every day she's up and working on her personal business, her personal activity. Imagine doing that every single day.
And it's so important to get it just done. You know, done, it's, you know, early in the day, you're not procrastinating. We all do it. I mean, sometimes cleaning my oven is, you know, more fun. I'm thinking to myself than adding names or picking up the phone. But I know that if I make the calls and I add names to my list, my business grows. It's doing those critical activities.
Thank you, Stacy. Stacy, we appreciate this so much, and as it was mentioned earlier, Darren, Kevin has been speaking. You know, some of this will become available as they had suggested. We appreciate you so much for your guidance here, your teaching here. The whole event has been incredible. I think we'll give it just till well, Mountain Standard Time here. We've got less than a minute, and I think we'll wrap it up right there at the 11:50 mark, and we'll pass it back over to you, Mark.
Okay. Guys, the chat has been unbelievable, just watching all that's been happening. I mean, there are approaches and appointments being set, and some great stuff going on. I think what we may want to start inviting the thousands of marketing executives all over Melaleuca country right now is to share with us the success that they had so we can celebrate them. So at this time, I think it would be kind of fun if we could invite everybody to show us your grand total. Tell us how many names you added to your contact list and how many calls or text messages you went to set an appointment, and how many appointments you got. So let's take a look at those results.
46 names, Jill. Wow. 30 names, 15 names, 10 names.
Well, you're doing a pretty good job at reading those messages. They're coming in too fast for me. Stacy, can you see some of the? I mean,
it's too fast.
Now, just think about the power of this just for a moment. And Stacy, maybe you could comment on this. Think about this activity being practiced in an organization once a week, or once a month, or however often somebody wants to do it. But just think about it just for a moment. On this power hour right now, we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of marketing executives that are adding names and setting appointments all over the country. And those numbers are just gigantic. I have no idea. I bet there's thousands of appointments being set right now. But think about if you were to practice that in your own organization every week, the power of what that could do for your business, I think, is pretty powerful. Could you comment on that, Stacy?
Sure. I think that sometimes people think that you need this big team to do a power hour, but the power hour starts with you. One person, yourself, doing it for 15 minutes, let's just say, even if you did that 3 times a week. And then if you have a business partner, now you've got 2 people doing that. And then it grows and it grows and it grows to, you can have hundreds of people involved in power hours in your team every single week. But it starts with you. It's all about leading by example. Yes. And it's about doing those, what I would call income producing activities, which are the first 3 critical business building activities. And nothing's changed over the 35 years that Melaleuca has been in business. Those critical activities have always stayed the same.
All right. Well, we know what the success formula is, and that is the action of doing critical business building activity number 1 and critical business building activity number 2, and doing them on a power hour is a remarkable way of finding success for you and your organization. And we challenge everybody to continue doing this activity at least once a week with your fast track team, with your organization, and have a lot of fun with it, because it builds up belief, it builds up hope. It's an opportunity to celebrate each other. It allows you to overcome fear and have courage when you're all working together, and that's what's so amazing. So Stacy, I just want to express my gratitude to you and tell you thank you for navigating us through this last portion of our North American live event for Melaleuca today. If everybody wants to take just a moment while you're in the chat box there and just express your appreciation to Stacy, I'm sure she would love that, and you can express a little love to her there in the chat, and you'll be able to see that, Stacy, as folks tell you thank you for this remarkable training. Now, as we come to an end of our North American event, I just want everybody to know how appreciative we are of Kim and her message and what she shared with all of us here in North America. What a powerful message that she shared in reference to suggestions and ideas and tips about building the Melaleuca business. Like I said earlier, I have tremendous notes that I have taken on her. I also, again, want to thank you, Stacy, for taking time on a Saturday to join us and to educate our field on contacting and appointment setting. I also want to express my appreciation to our senior vice presidents, Darren Johnson, for all that they do, for all the work that they do all year long to put on these amazing events. So thank you, Darren, for everything that you're doing, and also wanted to thank Kevin Sommer for his leadership and his role and the impact that he has in this initiative of building Melaleuca. Ed, thank you for joining us today, one of our talented regional managers in his initiatives and what he does in the central region. We have a wonderful group that works all across the country. Ed is just one of many talented employees that we have at the company. The other folks that I want to say thank you to is our special events group. None of this stuff happens without some really world-class special event individuals that start with Andrea McDowell and move along with her team with Trina Park and Rodney Pierce and you know, Patty Neal and many others. So thank you for taking your time today on a Saturday. And also to all of you in Melaleuca country, thank you for showing up. Thanks for being with us today. Thank you for making Melaleuca an important part of your life. Thank you for throwing in on the mission of enhancing lives. Have yourself a great day, and we'll look forward to visiting with you on our next North American live event. Take care, everybody.